Hi, everyone. So I'm excited about this because this marks a really profound change in all the work that I've been doing over decades, literally 3 to 4 decades at least, and also the work that I've been doing, especially in human design, the last 10 years, and over the last 3 or more years with my friend Darrell Reeves in taking human design to a new, fresh level that makes sense to people in the real world. Now, some of the things that I found difficult with human design originally was trying to understand the transcripts of Ra's lectures. Lectures and writing often aren't compatible, and it was difficult to make sense of, but I put a lot of time and energy into it. And then there's a lot of keywords that he used, a lot of ideas that have been put out about human design, a lot of influence because of alternative ideas and alternative communities and beliefs that often are inspiring or at least mean well, but they don't always really bring out how unbelievably practical and down to earth and relevant to everyday human beings, no matter where they're at, that human design is. I have a partner. She was born in the mountains of Thailand. Her parents came out of the mountains. You know, her daughter is now going to school and will probably go to university. I mean, what an amazing transition. She worked in rice fields most of her life, not most of her life, from about early school age, 11 to 24. So she wouldn't have got the sort of education that I got by any means. And yet, and I can't explain human design in the jargon to her very well because I speak English, she speaks Thai, and we have our own sort of little language sharing plus Google Translate. Thank you, Google. That was a good invention. And, you know, we understand each other, but I can't go into the theory of human design with her. And in fact, on a lot of levels, I don't have to because she lives it. And when I share something to do with the practicality of it, her sense is, well, that's common sense, isn't it? That's down to earth, which just goes to prove you don't have to understand all the theory intellectually to get it. You do have to understand what you're dealing with, and I'm not negating studying the theory in any way. In fact, I'm going to share in a minute something that Darrell and I put together that can really help people practically come to grips with what human design is about. But my point is, it's in the living of it and in the living of life that you truly understand what human design is all about. Ra would say there's no substitute for experience. Ra was the person who brought in human design in the form it is at the moment. And he's right. My father used to say, he's up there, he used to say there's no substitute for experience. Now, my new age beliefs argued with that for a long time, but Dad, you know, you had a really good point. You know, experience is what demonstrates where the rubber hits the road, does it work? And so a few years ago, my partner, Darrell Reeves, Darrell didn't know anything about human design when we met. He's highly experienced in business and presenting to large audiences of people over decades. Highly intelligent man. I have immense respect for him and really down to earth as well. And Darrell would question me about human design, and eventually we put together a program that was my best attempt at the time to really make human design clear for everyday people, to really fine-tune it so that you didn't get lost in the jargon and in the intellect or in the theory or in, you know, blowing it up bigger than it is and making it in some form of belief or religion, that all these things can happen, and then get very, tyrannical about it. But this is the way it has to be, because jargon and language tends to do that. Jargon and language can be really useful in the early stages of coming to grips with the simplicity of it. But unless you live it, it doesn't come alive. And I've been living my design now for 10 years and doing a lot of things that are fundamental to human design for 4 or 5 decades. Working with numbers, working with astrology from a scientific point of view, as well as really looking at, well, what does astrology really help us with in the practical world? Applying numbers to business and sport, as well as understanding people's nature, to raising children. There's a ton of experience I've got in a whole range of things, which we can talk about another time if it's relevant to you. But getting your teeth into it and really experiencing what human design points at you, testing it, not testing it just intellectually, but seeing, does it really throw light on you, how you behave, on your life, where you're going? Does it improve your ability to relate to people, to do business, to enjoy life in all its various practical forms? These are the killer apps of human design. And after 10 years of really testing it, I can vouch for that in my own life. And the depths it's going into, the subtleties of how I operate, how the people I know and love and deal with as clients, how they operate, it's extraordinary. It really is. And so what Daryl and I are doing, we're putting together a great team at the moment. And we started to do it a year or so ago, basically using the theory. And of course, the first thing you learn is you can't make it happen from your mind by pushing people into the boxes you think you have. Well, that's obvious, but we had to experience it, and it was really valuable experiencing that. And now it's unfolding. The timing's getting right. People are coming to us with real skills and real passion and time to put into this. And we're building a team to take all our skills. Daryl's a brilliant stage presenter. I'm incredible at taking any system, that's particularly alternative systems or old systems, astrology, the Enneagram, numbers, and really breaking them down into language that you can make sense of today, and then applying it to practical things in the real world so it benefits people and their lives are enriched by it, not just amazed by it or intimidated by it, but enriched. It makes a difference in your life. Just like, healthy food or exercise makes a difference in your life, right? So we're taking all the skills that we have and the skills of the people we're working with at marketing, at sales, at putting together programs that really help people, formats, live presentations. There's a whole range of things. But beyond that, which anybody can do for anything, our intent is to take human design and make it relevant and easy to understand and come to grips with and benefit from for people in all walks of life, not just alternative types or people on the cutting edge. I'm a cutting edge person. I've been an alternative type for decades, and yet my passion is to make this available to people, human beings, anyone who's open to it and they're ready for it. There's no point if you're not ready, but if you're open to it and ready for it, make it relatable, make it easy, make it something you can come to grips with through your own experience, apply and benefit from. And we're working to do that. not only in human design, but with all the other skills that we have in marketing, in human resources, in business, in sport, you know, in child raising and relationships. There's so many areas this can really benefit people. You know, financial development, you know, learning even how to work with money. I mean, for not only getting it, but then handling it responsibly once you do get it. How do you know how to get the benefit out of having something as simple as that resource? And how do you handle it when there's a lack of it so that you benefit from that as well? I mean, these are fundamental issues we all deal with. I know that because no matter how much I've meditated for decades, lived in an ashram for 7 years and stuff like that, I still have to face everyday life like all of us do and deal with those things so that I can enjoy being in a human body. And that's our ultimate goal, to help you really enjoy the experience of being alive as a human being. Tap into the resources and skills that you have. Understand how unique and different you are and everybody else is. And then have a great time being yourself, relating to people in a way that works for you and them. So that then we can create better results in everything. Business, politics, relationships, you name it. All the things we deal with in our lives. So we're going to do that. We're committed to that as a group, as a team. And we also, Daryl and I have spent the last couple of years putting together 2 programs on human design for people who are ready to look at their design. And these go into, we did it to make human design relevant. The first program was called Human Design for Innovators and Entrepreneurs. So we presented it in a way that would make sense to innovators, entrepreneurs, business people. And we explained all the basics of human design, including at the end working on team development. Now that's a fairly specialised part of human design, but it's so relevant if you're going to deal with practical people, you know, business people, innovators, entrepreneurs, people who want to be on the cutting edge of practical development and real life contribution, dealing with communities, you know, dealing with families and dealing with creating teams that work. Because, you know, when you get that right, 1 and 1 equals 11. 1 + 1 + 1 equals 100. There's this exponential growth in your potential and your ability to enjoy life and create great results. So we did that first program, and then Daryl, being as curious as he is, and me wanting to really get this and put it all together, we went into what is called below the chart, or what the unseen part of human design, which goes into what they call variable and all the practical benefits that come from that, how you're hardwired inside yourself, and the consciousness that's there and available to you because you have a unique consciousness. And that starts with learning how to digest. You know, if you can't digest food, let alone life, you're going to be struggling because you won't be able to get the benefit out of it. And then it goes into what environment do you truly thrive in and what is the nature of that. Now, the way that both of those have been described in the past are rather, they're interesting, they're fascinating, but they tend to seem rigid. And there is a certain, you know, when it's right, you know it, right? And it makes sense. It's not like trying to twist it in your mind to make it fit. But there's also so much more to develop out of experience, I know from my own. And then the environment, what does that mean? You know, mine happens to be kitchens, but kitchens are places of creativity. So it's not just, there's things there where you can discover that environment wherever you are, if you don't have the option to easily just shift into one that's obviously better. You can even create it or reshape your environment to bring out those qualities. And that's very exciting. And once your body's happy and at ease, you're getting the nutrition you need and you're getting the support from the environment around you, you can start opening up to the fact that the way you look at the world, your perspective is unique to you. And that is not only something you need to know, but it's an incredible benefit to the other people in your life when you know how to share that unique perspective, because it gives everybody greater options. And when you're looking through that perspective, you see the world in a way, you're aware of things that's in a way that's unique to you. It's not only the way you look at life, but what you see when you look at life. And it doesn't have to be just looking, the way you hear, the way you touch, the way you perceive life. And then what you're aware of as you're perceiving in the way that's natural for you. And if there's a story you can tell that's yours, if there's something, an awareness you can share that's yours, and there is, that is something of incredible value to other people, because it's valuable to you because it's unique to you, and it's valuable to other people because only you can see it that way, and that adds greater awareness to them and their lives. And that's not getting into rigid mental beliefs. This is opening up to the point of view and the awareness that only you have, because you're the only person in your body looking at the world the way you do and perceiving what you perceive. And then developing the art of expressing that and choosing the right time and the right people, deciding when it's right to let that rip and open up. And then that loops back to the first program, Human Design for Innovators and Entrepreneurs. So as we are moving to this next level, part of what we're doing is we're going to put this out, these two programs out to people, because they're incredibly valuable. You can learn the same theory from other people, but not presented in the way that Daryl and I do it. It's really down to earth and different. And we don't hit you with any jargon that we haven't clearly explained beforehand what the hell we're talking about. And even then, we keep the jargon and all that stuff to a minimum. It's real people talking about real experience. Daryl asking really relevant questions from someone who's very pragmatic and practical and down to earth, wants to understand. And me doing my best to explain from my experience, from my understanding. And that makes it so relatable. Plus we have commentaries that I do that, look at how does this apply in real life, PDFs that explain some of the important stuff very simply and clearly, because some of the stuff that's out there is really, unless you're in the in crowd, it's really hard to follow what the hell they're talking about. So we make that simple and clear. And we love it. We totally love what we're doing. Now, we're not loving it and we're going to give it away for free. And we're not like that. This is real value. And we're going to offer it for what we feel is an appropriate reward. And we're going to use that to build this whole thing that we're developing now, to free us up to do more and more of this and to build more and more of this. It's finding the right price point has been quite an interesting thing, and a lot of it is to do with timing. And right at the moment, we want this to go to people who are ready, and we can offer it at a great value price that really serves us and gives you the opportunity to go into these programs. Now, these programs are video, 30 to 50 minutes each. You know, there's 28 modules in the first, 19 modules in the second. You know, there's commentaries that go along with it. So you're dealing with a day or two of information. You know, there's a lot there to absorb and to go into. This can be a course. We're not going to give certificates. You know, the certificate you get is going to be the benefit to you in your life and the experience and the love that you're able to share with the people around you, and the love coming from who you are, the business you're able to do coming from who you truly are, the sport you're able to play, the relating you're going to be able to do authentically, because it's coming from you, not from somebody else's idea of who you should be or what you should be. That's the certificate. That's the sort of people we want to work with. And where's the benefit? How can this really benefit me? The benefits you get out of it. You know, you go into this, take your time, enjoy it, do it in your own rhythm, in your own pace. We'll have a Facebook thing where you can interact back and forward with us and tell us, you know, what the hell is this? And that was great and all that sort of stuff. But this is for the benefit of people who are ready to fully embrace and enjoy their life, not in some theoretical sense, but get to know their true selves and turn up as who they truly are. Now, I was an alternative person for a very long time. Way back 30 years ago, that was revolutionary. Now it's almost stuck in a rut. Being revolutionary these days is turning up as who you truly are, irrespective of other people's beliefs and ideas and theories about that. And when you do, it doesn't clash with other people. It enables you to be able to truly relate while doing what you're designed to do. Now, I can go into that on a lot more depth, maybe another time. You know, this is where we want to go. So, for a couple of people, 2, 3 people at most, in the next week or so, until we start moving into this whole new thing that we're developing, I'm going to make both of these programs, in fact, Daryl and I together, we're going to make both these programs available in one package. So this will be right for you if you're ready to work your way from the basics. The advanced work in anything is the basics done really well. So the basics go into that, and then build into team build, you know, decision making, how you operate, then building into teams, then going into how to bring the very unique qualities that you carry within you out into the world, so you fully present as an individual who can make great decisions and who is fascinating to other people. And I mean that sincerely. I know people here in Thailand that don't know anything about human design, but they fascinate me. One is a little autistic girl. She just, my heart just opens up to her whenever I see her, you know. She's fascinating, and yet she's just, but that's the quality, because she doesn't know anything else but to be herself. It doesn't matter how much you try and condition her, you know, she's just herself. And it's just extraordinary to be around people like that. And Daryl and I are learning to really get along with each other, no matter how different, you know, we're using our differences as assets, as resources. And yeah, we rub a bit, but every time it just opens up. And that's when you can turn those differences into assets, that's where the benefits emerge, the benefits you didn't even expect to get, including the ones everyone's looking for because we need them in our lives. But then there's these other benefits that emerge. So if this has interested you and this is interesting to you, jump in now. Once we get our new site, and it's not just a site, it's going to be a whole team thing with, we're going to do events. There's a whole lot we've got planned. It's going to be extraordinary. But these programs will still be sold then, but they'll be sold individually and they'll be sold at the prices that they're truly worth. So this is something we just want to put out there because, look, both of them together, some people out there are going to be ready. It's going to help us financially just put everything together. It's also my gift and Daryl's gift. It's what they call in Thailand, tambun. You know, you give something and good things come back into you in return. You know, it's like gifting. So it's just the simplest and most honest explanation. It's the right time for this to happen. Whatever the reasons Daryl and I have dreamt up, this is the right time for this offer to be made. And there's a couple of you, 3 of you out there who this is going to be right for. Let us know. The website, www.teampower.business. It'll be at the bottom of this on YouTube or Facebook or wherever we show this video. The details are there. You can book it there. You can buy into the program there, or you can just check out what we've done there. You know, make a decision. If you're going to do this because you truly want human design to make a difference in your life and you really want to understand what the hell it's really about. Go beyond the ideas and the jargon and the theory and come to grips with the juice and the beauty. Human design is a beautiful thing. And it can really, it's only going to enhance what you've already got. It doesn't mean you've got to work to be something that you're not. That's the hugest difference. It's coming to terms with who you already are and getting the very best out of it. That's the benefit of human design. So if this has been helpful or inspired you or you're ready for this, go to the website, book in. It'll be my pleasure to work with you in the months ahead because you will have access to me and Daryl, you know, email and Facebook and stuff like that as well. And we look forward to working with you either now or in the future as we start to take not only our design, but the gifts that we truly have to inspire people, in Daryl's case, to make esoteric things really practical and useful, in my case, and explain them in ways that make sense. And with all the gifts of the other people who will introduce as time moves on, to bring those qualities out and make them available so that, one, we enjoy our lives, and part of the benefit of that is the world becomes a better place, or at least the people in our world and who have contact with us, their lives improve and they get going on really enjoying living their lives. Been a pleasure talking to you. Talk to you again soon.